Good evening everyone and welcome to Papercraft with Jenny. This is a May monthly card club. So this is, if you're watching on the replay, this is a recording of a Facebook Live craft along with me and we're going to be using the Sunrise Sailing bundle tonight. So let me just do a quick tech check to make sure we are live in the right place. And then I will explain what we're going to be doing. Yes, looks like it. Okay, that's wonderful. Let's just get down to... Right, bear with me a minute. That's wonderful. Let's just get down to... Turn the sound off. I don't hear myself coming back. That's better. Okay, so if you're joining me live tonight, welcome. Lovely to see you. Do stick something in the chat so I know that who's here and who's not. That would be lovely. And also let me know if you're going to be crafting along as well. I'd really like to know if you're going to be crafting with me. So for those of you who just happen to have found me on Facebook or are watching on YouTube, then the people that are crafting with me will have received a kit in the post of products to be able to make all of the projects that we're going to be going through tonight. So as I said before, we're going to be using the Sunrise Sailing suite or bundle of products. The Sunrise Sailing bundle consists of a hybrid embossing folder, which also is a 3D embossing folder as well, so it does both, and I'll show you why it's so special and so exciting in a moment. And then also the Sunrise Sailing dies as well that go with it. So I will show you how all of that works. We're going to be making 4 projects tonight. We're going to be making 4 different cards using new techniques, using those new products, and also using some of our brand new colours, as our new annual catalogue has just launched this month, which is really exciting. And so with that we get new in colours as well. So we have 5 of our colours every year that retire, and we get 5 brand new colours that come along, so that we're always on trend. So I will show you the colours because they're on one of the first cards we're going to be making. So these are the 5 brand new colours. So we've got kind of a sky colour, a dark navy indigo kind of colour, a pink, an orange and a yellow, and I'll tell you their names as we go along as well. You will be able to see them in the new catalogue, so if you would like a paper copy of the new catalogue, then do let me know, and I will stick one in the post to you. If you're not a paper kind of person but you'd like to see the new products, then you can go to my website and into my shop, and you will see everything there as well. If you want to go just look at the catalogue and don't want to go through the shopping kind of section of it, you can do that too. So you can just literally click on catalogue only view. You don't have to go into the shop to see, and you'll kind of get like a virtual catalogue, if you like, where you can turn the pages virtually. So some people like that, so that's great. Hi Sally, lovely to see you. I'm glad you can join us. So yeah, as I say, we're going to be making 4 different cards tonight with some different techniques. So I've already shown you that first one, that one there, which is going to be our in colours card. We're then going to be using some of the in colours and doing some blending, and I will put these under the camera in a moment. We've also got a little step card designed by my lovely friend and demonstrator Liz Shannon. So thank you so much for that one, Liz. I'm going to be using that, looking at that one. And then we've got a throw everything at it card. So we've got stamping, we've got die cuts, we've got some beautiful glimmery cardstock, which I'll also show you in a moment. And yeah, a little bit of everything on that one, but lots of glitz and shine on that one. And then I've got some other samples to show you as well at the end, using these this lovely bundle. So we will go through that in a moment. Okay, so what's everybody been up to this month? And I feel like I haven't seen people for a really long time. We've had exams here as usual. Evelyn's been doing her mock A levels, so that's been a bit stressful, but we've got through it and we've come out the other side, and she's done really well, so that's wonderful. As you've probably seen from my Facebook post, we're back swimming in the lake again. So that's really lovely as well. We like to have a dip in open water, as you know, those of you who've been following me and friends for a while. And Stampin' Up wise, had as I said, we've got a brand new catalogue. Hi Liz. We've also had a lovely Super Saturday a couple of Saturdays ago, and we made the fabulous paper bouquet. So you probably will have seen that on Stampin' Up sites on Pinterest and also on my Facebook page. If you haven't, it's worth scrolling back to the pictures and see it. It's an amazing large bouquet of paper flowers. It's really easy to make, but so effective. The only additional bit to the kit that you need is a hot glue gun. That's it. Everything else you can just use your normal craft kit for. So I think the only extra things I had was my hands. And what else did I use? Oh, I used a bone folder to curl the petals as well, but not too much. You don't need to be too aggressive with it. But it honestly, it was such a lovely afternoon. After that workshop, I shared some photos and several people have said, oh, I wish I'd been around. I'd like to have done that one. So I am thinking about doing another paper bouquet workshop. So if you're interested, please let me know, because there will be kind of a minimum number of people to make it worthwhile. But I've got a couple of people already interested, so I'm very happy to run it again because it was really good fun. If you've already made it once, you're very welcome to come again. I have seen it made as a wreath instead, so round kind of either an embroidery hoop or round like a reed wreath or something like that. Looks equally as effective as a bouquet. So you're very welcome to join me again. This month's Super Saturday though, well next month actually, because it'll be June, but June's Super Saturday, June is my birthday month, so I thought we'd have a little bit of a crafternoon tea, something different. So we're going to be having heavy emphasis on the afternoon tea bit, scones, jam and cream, bottomless tea and coffee, and lots of chat and fun, and might even throw in a raffle, you never know. Then we're also going to be doing some very relaxed, lightweight crafting, I would say, and we're going to be using one of the beautiful new kits. Cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, but again, a couple of posts ago, it's in the Facebook page, so you can have a look. It's a beautiful floral kit with lots and lots of little individual flowers that you can cut and build up, and yeah, really pretty, really, really pretty. You could also make a scrapbook page out of it. So if scrapbooking is your thing rather than card making, you don't have to make cards with the kit. You could make a scrapbook page. You'll get several layouts from what you get in the kit. So if you would like to join me, that would be lovely. You will have already seen the advert in the Facebook page, and those of you on the mailing list will have already had an email about it as well. There'll be another reminder email coming on the closing date, which is in a week or so's time. So do have a look. I would love for people to join me. That would be really nice. A nice sociable summer afternoon, I think it could be. Okay, so I think that's probably all the news for now. If you've got news that you've not shared with me yet, do tell me. Stick it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I'm going to turn the lights on. You can wave to Evelyn as usual on the way down, and let's get crafting, shall we? Okay, right then. Ooh, I'm going to turn around. There we go. There she is. There we go. Right, let's get all of my lights on so I can see what I am doing here. Let's bring that forward a little bit as well. Let's get everything set. So we've got maximum lights on the situation first, and then we'll have a look at what cards we've got. So as I said, we've got that one that's got lots of glitz and glimmer on it. That one, which is kind of like a little step card, so it creates a shadow behind. And I'm going to show you how to actually use the dynamic embossing, hybrid embossing folder with this card as well. So I will actually cut it out, show you how it actually works, how the embossing folder and the die cuts go together, how they work together. And then we've got the In Colours card, and then the lovely little blended card as well. So we're going to start nice and simple. We're going to start with the In Colours card. So in your kit, you will have a couple of long sheets of A4, because this is a tent fold, so it stands up like that. Okay, so you need one of these long sheets of A4. It's already scored, so you're just going to fold it in the center, make sure those edges line up at the bottom, and give it a little crease with your bone folder there. And then you will need to find your 5 in colour strips. So let's see if I can remember what the names of them are as we go along. So we've got this one, this pale one, I think that one's called Cloud Cover. I'm going to have to look at the ink pads to remind me. So this one, the dark kind of navy indigo-y colour, that one is called Secret Sea. I don't know how they come up with the names for these things, I really don't. Then we've got the yellow one, is Darling Duckling. And then we've got this one, you might remember from previously, because we have had this one before a while ago. This is Strawberry Slush. And then this orange one is Timid Tiger. So you've got 5 different new in colours, so they're lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle with the Strawberry Slush, and you will need to cut them down because, as you'll see, they are a little bit too long for the card. So my standard width of my card is 9.9 centimetres. So I'm going to cut all of mine down to 9.9, and in fact I'm going to cheat and I'm going to do a couple at a time. Evelyn's very excited tonight because she's got a brand new trimmer, Stampin' Up! Trimmer, so she was really excited that she's going to be able to use her new trimmer and we won't be having to pass it back and forth all the time, which is good news, let me tell you, because she's always got it when I want it and vice versa. So that's good, she won't have to wait for me to craft anymore. If you've not got a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, I can honestly say it's one of the best things we do. It's so brilliant, it's so sharp, and the scoring tool is fantastic as well. And the fact that it's got all the measurements on it, oh, it makes the world of difference, because you've got measurements all across the grid, centimetres and inches at the top, all the way along, goes all the way up to 12 by 12 inches. And you've also got inches on the side rule as well, so it's really clever and really, really, really helpful. Okay, so let's get those little bits out of the way. In fact, hold on, Evelyn, let me get you a bin. That is one thing we don't have out, is a bin. We'll have a bin. Let's pop those in there, all these little bits off the edge. There we go. So 9.9 centimetres is the width that you're looking for across these. Like I say, I'm going to start in the middle with the Strawberry Slush, and then I'm going to work up and down, okay? Now, it's quite easy for me because I've got not only my grid paper, but I've also obviously got the card as well to use as a template. But if you want to measure using a pencil and a ruler, obviously you can. If you just want to eyeball it, that's okay too. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. And then I'm going to go Timid Tiger next on the way up the card. And also do let me know which one of these colours is your favourite. If you've got a colour that you really like or really hate, do tell me. At this point, I always think, oh gosh, we've already got some colours that are just like this. And then I actually hold them up against the colours we have already got, and they're absolutely nothing like it. I don't know how Stampin' Up! And I guess the fashion world is probably where all this comes from. I don't know how they managed to get the colours that you think, oh, this has got to be the same shade, but actually, when you then compare it, it's absolutely nothing like the shade we've already got. I don't know how they do it, I really don't. It's very clever. Sciencey, I expect. So, last one on the bottom here. So you just want them evenly spaced, really. Don't worry too much if you don't have to be kind of millimetre perfect. that's absolutely fine. It will work. There we go. Just have a quick slurp of my cup of tea while everyone finishes that bit.
I think I actually managed to eyeball mine pretty perfect.
Oh, well done. Evelyn's saying she's eyeballed all of hers. And my goodness, it is. It's perfectly evenly spaced. Well done. Mega clever. Okay. So the next thing that you're going to want is you've got several of these embossed sheets with the sailing boat on it, and you're going to need one of them. Okay, so this is a single piece of card, and you're going to cut it down. Okay, so I will tell you the measurement that you're going to cut it to. So let's go centimetres first. If you're measuring in centimetres, it's 7 centimetres by 11 centimetres. And if you're measuring in inches, it's 2 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. So 7 by 11 or 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And I would try and take a bit off all round because you want the sailing boat to remain in the middle, of course. So I'm going to go 11 across the C first and get rid of that bit of C, and then I'm just going to take a little bit off each side until I get to where I want to be with the boat in the middle, because I don't want to cut off any bit of the boat. And I want a little bit of clouds and a little bit of boats. There we go. So while we're just doing that bit as well, let me show you the embossing folder. So the embossing folder is one of these large square embossing folders. So as you can see, you can probably see from the inside, it's really quite a large frame. So it is 6 1/4 inches square. So you could make really quite large cards with this as well if you use the whole embossing folder. I think most of what I've made, I've cut it down, but I do have one card to show you at the end that is the actual whole embossing folder I've used on the card, so that's quite good. Okay, so once you've cut your your sailing boat down, then I'm just going to put it on 3D pads and just lift it up. Because it's a square, well, as in it's a rectangle obviously, but because it's a regular shape, I'm going to use these pads instead of little 3D dimensionals. I absolutely love these and I'm using them more and more. They are called foam adhesive strips, and so instead of a single dimensional, you get a whole strip of foam so that you can put it down the edge and then you can just rip it with your fingers. It's really brilliant. And so for this one, I only actually need one strip because I've got one down either side and then the leftover bit in the middle to make sure it doesn't sag. So it's really easy. So just peel the backing off of those. And obviously you can still cut them up or you know, tear them with your fingers to make smaller pieces as well. So actually when you've got really small little bits that you want to put some dimension behind, sometimes when we're doing figures, so I was preparing next month's projects today, and we're going to be using the turtles from the new annual catalogue, and some of their little heads and arms and things, if you want to put them on 3D, then you know, you do need a really tiny little piece. So these strips are brilliant because you can cut really minuscule pieces off. Okay, so again, I'm going to just eyeball it and put it in the centre of my colours. There we go. And then I am going to add a sentiment, but before I do, I want to show you my brilliant new sentiment system. I'm really, really excited about this, and so I want to show you. So all of the products that we're using tonight are not actually from the new catalogue. They are from the new online exclusive selection. So they are available to see on the website. So not in your catalogue, but on the website. And this sentiment stamp set and die is similar. It's also in the online exclusive. So this is the stamp set. And the stamp set is a real red rubber stamp set. And as you can see from the stamp set, it stamps every sentiment in this set all in one go. So it stamps them all out in one block, okay? And so you've got, hi there, way to go. You can do anything. You're the absolute best. Happy birthday. I adore you. Good luck. Forever friends. Always here for you. Miss you. Hello. You're simply incredible. Thanks a lot. Congratulations. Oh, happy day. Hooray. Lots of love. A note and time to celebrate. So you've got like every sentiment you can imagine pretty much. And the brilliant thing about this is not only can you stamp them all as one, but you die cut them all as one as well. Look, how brilliant is that? So this die, single die, goes, let me get it the right way around, goes over the top of all of these sentiments and cuts them all out individually with just a slightly different shape to them. So you've got lots of different shaped sentiments to fit the size, obviously, of the stamp that you've got underneath. So that is fantastic. And so what do I do with them once I've cut them all out? What I do with them is I put them in one of these boxes. So I've got tons of sentiments all ready to go. They are all die cut. So I've got black ones that I have done white embossing ink on, and I've got white ones that I've stamped in black, and I've stamped some in, it's difficult to see the difference in the tone here, but I've also stamped some in the that new, what's that colour? I can't even remember, Secret Sea as well. So I've got a real variety, but yeah, lots of different ones. So I'm going to put a lots of love on that one. I know who I'm going to send that one to already. And I'm going to just put a little dab of glue on the one edge and just have it hanging off the side there. There we go. And that is our first card complete. So it stands up like that, tenfold, and it's complete. Hi Carolyn, hiya. So yeah, so couple of new things already I've shown you there. So we've got the new in colours, these 5 new in colours. We've got the dynamic 3D embossing folder, and I'll show you a bit more of what you can do with that in a moment. And then we've got the new stamp set with the dies as well, and it's called More Messages. That's what I should tell you as well. The stamp set with the dies inside, it's called More Messages. So it's absolutely fantastic. What I am really hoping is that they also bring out a Christmas one like it. I would be cock-a-hoop, let me tell you, if they do that. That would be wonderful if we had, you know, Merry Christmas, wish you a Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff, all in one stamp set and one die. That would be brilliant. I'd be in heaven. Okay, so there we go. So that's card number 1 done. So give me some thumbs up if you are with me. And if you are, then we will move on to card number 2. Which is an equally beautiful and very easy one. Oh, loads of loads of emojis. I'm not quite sure what they are, but lots of them. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So card number 2 is this one. So what I've done here is I'm going to show you how the embossing folder and the die work together as a hybrid, so that you can put the die inside the embossing folder, which is totally brilliant as far as I'm concerned, to cut out the sailing boat. So it's really helpful. We're also going to do a bit of colouring to colour the sea as well, to give that a bit of colour. And what I've done is I've just lifted the boat up and then stepped it sideways, so that you get the shadow of the dark card behind. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your piece of, what do I call this? Secret Sea, can't remember the names yet. Secret Sea cardstock, so fold that over and crease it. That's going to provide your border and also the shadow behind your boat. And then what you're going to need is you're going to need the piece of your piece of white card with the boat already cut out of it. And Evelyn, you don't have one of those, because I am going to do it for us now. If I can just find a piece of blank white card. Oh no, we have got it. No, we have got it. We have got it. Have you got one that's already cut out?
No.
No, okay.
That's not cut out.
You have that one then, I'll have this one. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to actually, how to do this. Let me just move these out of the way a moment. So you need the embossing folder first. Let's get that one out. And then you need the sailing boat die. So let me show you the dies as well while we're here. Hi Dee, hi. So we've got the dies that we've got. We've got this large sailing boat that's going to cut the sailing boat out of the embossing folder. And then we've also got some clouds, some sailing boat masts, a big one and a little one. And then you've got some sails to go over the top, some little birds. And then you've got these two that create kind of waves on the ocean as well, which we haven't used this time, but I have used in a card that I'll show you later. So those are the bits of the dies. But what we're going to use is just the large outline sailing boat die, this one here. So what you do is you open up the die fold, the embossing folder. You look at the sailing boat. So this is on the same side as the Stampin' Up sign, and you fit the die over the top of the embossed sailing boat. Actually, it's debossed because it's indented, but it only fits one way round. It only fits on one side of the embossing folder. We have had a similar setup like this before with a Christmas die, where you could cut things out at the same time. So it might be familiar to you already, but basically the die fits over the top, and you know you've got it in the right place because it won't move when you've got it over there. And then once you've got it in the right place, you lay your cardstock on top. Close the embossing folder, and at this point you can see through the embossing folder where your ship is going to be cut out, and you can see where the clouds are going to be, so you can make sure you've got your card in the right place. And then I'm just going to run that through my die cutting machine. So let me just do that a moment. My die cutting machine is a bit too big to have under the camera, so I'm just going to run it through behind me here. There we go. So then when you open up your folder, you've got the die still in place, but it's cut out the sailing boat at the same time as embossing the sailing boat and all the background, which is exactly what we want. So super clever die and emboss. Really, really clever. Okay, so back to our card. What we want to do is we want to colour the background first, and we want to colour the ship next, and then we'll bring the two together, okay? So colouring the background, what I decided to use was, you could use a blending brush, but what I decided to use this time was some sponge daubers. I'm going to go with balmy blue, but it depends on how rough you want your sea to look, really, as to, you know, kind of what colour you're going to go for. And all I'm doing is just rubbing the dauber over the top of the raised sea image. And you can go as dark or as light as you want to, really easy. Just over the top, just to give a bit of sea depth. As simple as that. Super simple and easy. And then I'm going to stick that, so just the background piece without the ship in it, I'm going to stick that flat down on my card front. Now you'll also notice that your embossed piece might be a little bit too big, so you might need to trim it down to make it fit your card front and give that nice little border around the edge as well. So if you do, just trim it down to the normal dimensions. That'll be 14.3 by 9.9. You might be lucky, yours might fit perfectly, mine doesn't. But yours may be the right size, but if it's not, just trim it down a little bit first so you get a bit of an edge and a border. Just makes it look a bit neater, really. But you're just going to stick that down flat, okay? So I'm going to use glue to do that because I want it to stick nice and firmly. I'm not going to go into all the detail of the edges of the boat. You don't need to. You just need enough to hold it in place. I'm going to open the card out so that it's a bit easier to line it up and stick it down. Just sticking it flat down to the surface. These little bits that are flapping up in the middle, they will get stuck down in a moment because your boat will be offset, and so that will hold them in place and hold them down. So just stick that. It is very fancy, isn't it, Carolyn? I agree. It is very fancy. So your layer is 14.3 by 9.9 centimetres. And then don't forget to colour any bits of your boat that you want to colour. So I'm just going to colour the mast and the hull. That's all. Let me just get a mast colour. I think I have crumb cake for the mast. Let's go for a light crumb cake this time. I think that was a dark crumb cake, so let's see what the difference is. And all I'm doing is colouring over the top. I'm using Stampin' Blends, but you could use whatever you've got to hand in terms of colouring, felt tips, pens, whatever. With Stampin' Blends you can go over them again and again because they're alcohol markers and just deepen that colour. But I'm literally just colouring, just drawing over the top of the mast so that the mast is raised and it just gives you that little bit of dimension. And then I'm going to do my hull in balmy blue, I think this is. Yeah, balmy blue. So I'm going to do a light balmy blue.
Ooh.
I'm going to go all the way over. So I know you've got little windows and things in your hull, and I know that the boat is kind of, it's got like a little border around it where it's been die cut out around the embossing. I'm colouring over everything, the whole lot. So as if it's one solid piece. Purely and simply because it's easier and it will look more effective against the white background then. If you leave the little border around the outside, and if you are really, you know, a fastidious colourer and you create all the little hull windows and all that kind of stuff, then it just won't be, it's not quite so effective when you put it on. So the next thing you need is some 3D pads to make your boat stand up and create the shadow. So I'm just putting my 3D pads on the flattest bits of the sail, and I'm also going to put some, just going to cut them in half to go on the hull. So I don't really want to be too kind of fussy about it, but I do want the hull to stand up as well. And obviously your hull could be wood colour, it could be red, it could be green, whatever colour you want to make it. Whatever works for you. Let's pull those bits off. I had loads of dimensionals out earlier, and I just know when I go to bed tonight I'm going to find them all over, because the peel off backing on them, oh my goodness, it went everywhere. Right, okay, this is the important bit. This is how you create that shadow effect. So you want to put your boat kind of back in as if you were going to put it straight back in and cover up all the colour, and then you want to just slide it just slightly to the right, and if you want to kind of slide it down a little bit as well, that's okay too, and you will then get that kind of offset shadow effect behind your boat. So your boat is very much 3D. It's off the page. I can put my fingers behind the back of it, but you've got that lovely little kind of shadow effect behind it. Very clever. And then you've also got a few birds. Now you're going to need some birds for one of your other cards as well. So don't use all of your birds at this point, I would say. Just use maybe one or a couple of your birds. What you can also see is that you've got some embossed birds on the background. So what I'm going to do is actually use that as my guide, and I'm going to cover up one of those birds with my little die cut bird. The die cuts are tiny, so before you tell me that you haven't got any die cuts in your pack, you are going to need to probably open up your envelope and really hunt for them, because they are miniature. I literally found mine right before we logged on this evening in the very, very, very bottom of my envelope, and I thought I had lost them. I thought I hadn't cut any for me and Evelyn, and I thought I was going to need to cut some because they are so tiny. But they are there, I promise you. And then just finish off with a sentiment and you are all good. So what can I put on mine for the sentiment? Let's have a black sentiment off the side there. Let's have a black sentiment for a change. Some of these sentiments as well, I experimented to see how much I could get out of one sheet of card, and I discovered that if I didn't mind some of the edges being cut off, which works okay because I'm going to line it up against the edge of the card, same with this one, then actually I could get four sheets of sentiments out of one A4 card sheet, which I thought was pretty good actually. I don't think I would get that many sentiments out if I just hand cut them individually myself. So that was another reason for me to think, oh, I quite like this. I like this way of doing it. There we go. So I've got a black sentiment and a white sentiment. And that's our second card. So let me know how you're getting on. What colour are your boats? Do you like the sentiment idea? Would you rather individualise all your sentiments and cut them all by hand? What's your preference here? I might go over my mast again. I think it needs a bit more, maybe a little bit more depth to it. Just going to add another layer. There we go, that's just a little bit more, a little bit darker mast. Oh, look, Evelyn's done a lovely one. Look at that, that's beautiful. You've done, what colour did you do for your
I did
sea?
A mix of Lost Lagoon and Balmy Blue.
Nice. She did a blend of Balmy Blue and Lost Lagoon for her sea. That looks really nice. Yeah, I like that a lot. Oh, and look, she's coloured in, she's drawn in the birds over the top of the embossing folder. So this is my original one where the birds are the die cuts over the top. And then Evelyn's is gone over with what did you do? A blend, just a fine tip blend. Yeah, that looks really good. Really effective, actually. Really effective. Oh, Liz saying she would also love a Christmas one. Yeah, I think we should start a campaign, Liz. I think I might put it in the suggestions box actually, because on the demonstrator website, because I really think that would be a good thing. That, oh my goodness, can you imagine how quickly you'd get your Christmas cards done? Oh, heaven, absolutely heaven. Okie dokie. So, how are you getting on with that one? Give me some thumbs up if you're keeping up with me and if you're ready to move on to the next one, which is a little bit more detailed. So we're going to be moving on to this one next. So we're going to need lots of colour and daubers and things. Cool. Okay. Got lots of thumbs up. That's good. Right. Let's move those two out of the way. Okay. So this one here is essentially done in exactly the same way that you did your last bit of colouring of the sea, but this time I've blended lots of different colours together and I've coloured a bit of the boat. So this is all on a flat, I say flat, on just one single sheet of embossed. So you can make it, I mean, I've just tried to put a little bit of sun going down into the water here. So we've got a bit of a kind of a shadowy kind of sun, so it looks a bit sunsetty. You can make it look whatever you want to, depending on what colours you've got and what you're going to use. So whatever you like. We've also got a little bit of twine as well wrapped around the card. So there's lots of different elements to this one. So we're going to just do it step by step together and see how we get on. So the first thing you're going to need is your strawberry slush card base. Fold that and crease it as usual. The next thing you're going to need is your what's it called? Secret. I want to call it Stormy Sea. Why don't I want to call it Secret Sea card base, your layer, sorry. And this one will need to be cut to size. It's going to be too big because I literally just cut up a sheet of A4 into quarters. So you'll need this layer to measure the usual measurement. So it's going to be 9.9 by 14.3 centimetres. 9.9 by 14.3 centimetres to give you that layer. Okay, so that layer will go on and you'll have that nice strawberry slush border. And then the next piece that you're going to need is that final embossed piece. Where are we? There it is. So again, all this is a quarter of A4. So you're going to need to trim this one as well. So this one is going to be 9.3, and you might want to take a little bit off here and there so that nibble at it so that you've got, so that you've kind of got your boat in the middle still. Because if you just chop it all off one side, it won't look, your boat will look out of place because it won't be in the centre of your card. So just try and, I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but you do want it sort of somewhere central. And then you want it to be no, what am I saying? Hang on a minute. So it's 14.3. So we want to go down. No. We're going to go down 6 from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 13.7. So 13.7 is that second measurement. You'll be able to look and check that you've got that right as well, because you can put it onto your blue piece of card and see that you've got the same border on all 3 pieces. Okay, but don't stick anything to the card base yet. Don't stick anything down. So you want to just get those 3 pieces cut and ready first. And then what we're going to use is we're going to use some sponge daubers, or you could use blending brushes if you prefer blending brushes, or you could colour it with watercolour pencils, or you could colour it with aqua painters, or whatever you want really. It really kind of depends what look you're going for. but you're going to just basically build up the colours so that you get a beautiful sort of sunsetty-esque kind of thing going on. Okay, so I'm going to start with the C actually. So I'm going to start with the C. Have you got a blue dauber over there? Oh yeah, sorry. I see them here, but I haven't got them. So it's going with a bit of get the C in first. I'm going to do like Evelyn did last time, and I'm just going to blend those two blues together actually, so I get a bit of a mixed C. So I've got a bit of the balmy blue, and I've also got a bit of, what was that other one?
Lost Lagoon.
Lost Lagoon. And then I'm also going to do a bit of balmy blue at the top here as well, just around the edges, just on the tips there. And then I'm going to start to work my way down. So I'm going to next go on to a bit of strawberry slush in the clouds. And then I'm going to finish off with my kind of yellows, and I could do some new daubers, I think. And when you're blending them, don't be afraid to go over the top. So join your colours together, blend your colours one on top of the other, because it's when you get that nice kind of mixing together is where you get that grading, so that it looks much more natural really. There's the strawberry slush. You got the yellow one. I'll have the yellow one after you. I think the daubers are giving up the ghost here. I think it's about time we had some new daubers by the look of it. They're starting to, the sponge is starting to come off, I think. I'll tell you what I'm going to use. I'll use a blending brush for my last one, I think. Let's just use a bit of a blending brush so you can see the different kind of, there we go. Different shade there, look. Makes it a bit lighter actually, it's nice, I like it.
Not as intense.
Yeah, it is, not quite such a strong colour. I like that a lot. Again, I'm going to go over the C a bit as well. Like that. There we go. Lovely. Lovely kind of rainbow effect there. And then I've got to decide what I'm going to do about the boat. So last time, as you can see, I did a red hull and a yellow sail. I think we might stick with our blue sail. So I'm going to go with a blue sail and a crumb cake mast. I'm just going to go over the outline of the sail. And go right to the edge of the embossed piece as well. And then fill it in. Oh, different colour. Different colour.
I went into the wrong colour.
Oh. I'm trying to get a nice straight edge on that sail there. Not completely, but that'll do. That's nice. Slightly darker mast, I think this time. The crumb cake pen's falling apart for some reason. Don't know why that is.
I did that one.
Got some splatters now over my C, but never mind. That. This must be the old crumb cake one, I think. There we go. And my hull. So I just need a different colour pen for my hull. So I'm going to have Parade for the hull. Light Poppy Parade, I think. And again, this time I am going to put in the windows in my hull. I can see them, just about. But if you struggle with that, then don't worry, just go straight over the top. I'm just using blends, but again, you can use whatever you've got to hand. There we go. Okay. Once you're happy with your coloured and embossed piece, you're going to stick that flat down onto your first layer, which is the blue layer. So just grab some tape or glue or whatever you're going to use, and you're going to stick it flat down. No 3D at all on this card, not until you get to the sentiment. Leaving a nice border around the outside as before. And then before you stick it to the strawberry slush layer, get your piece of twine and wrap your twine around, either so that you leave the ends on the back and you just get the twine effect, or like I've done on my original one, where I've actually got the I've tied it so that the tie is on the front in a bow. I'm going to see, I might just tie this one so that you don't see the so you can't see the end at all. So I'm going to tie it on the back, or I might not even tie it, I might just tape it actually on the back. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of tape over the back there. Oops. Take the glue pot over. So I've just put a little bit of tear and tape on the back, so I'm not going to go with a bow this time. I'm just going to go with the layers of twine instead. And then I'm going to take that bit off and trim it down, and then I'm going to add some more adhesive to stick it down to the card, so that that string is then trapped in the layers of adhesive, so it can't pull out from the card then. Don't know why I'm cutting it so neatly when it's tear and tape, but never mind. Just tear it with your fingers. There we go. And then, if you don't like picking, if you haven't got perhaps good fingernails and you're struggling to pick up the edges, using a pokey tool is brilliant, because it lifts the tape up for you. Or you could use the point of a scissors as well, but just lifting that off the card, it will, you can just kind of pick at it and it will lift it for you without you having to worry about needing long fingernails or anything. Works on dimensionals as well. You can literally kind of stab dimensionals and they come off. So then once you've got all of that sussed, you can then stick it to the front of the card. And when I've got anything like string or anything extra, I always turn the card over and then just secure the adhesive from the back instead of from the front, because then you know that the string's not going to kind of start moving around, or the twine is not going to go AWOL anywhere. And I need another sentiment as well. So let's see. Oh, how about a congratulations? That might look quite nice. Let's have a congratulations, because that could be a birthday then, couldn't it? Or a you've done an amazing thing kind of card. Bit of a thin sentiment, so I'm going to go back to those foam strips again. I'm going to get one of those, have a bit of that, tear a bit off. Perfect for these really thin little sentiments. Look at that.
Have you got another
Spot on.
refill?
Have I got another what?
Snail refill.
Oh yeah, I expect I've got a snail refill you can have. There we go. I'm going to put this sentiment below my string. Just grab Evelyn's one. Tape a minute. There you go. Lovely, 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 lovely. So that's two different, kind of slightly different versions of the same card. Just let people catch up a moment while I have a quick slurp of my tea. And then I'm going to show you another version of that card that I've made that uses the whole embossing folder, but coloured in the same way. So just close these ink pads up so they don't dry out. Well, I would if I could. New ink pads are a nightmare, aren't they? They're so stiff to fold over. There we go. At least you know you've got them in the right place, because they snap when you get them in the right place. They are a nuisance to fold up. Okay, right, let me find the other cards that I've made using this technique. Here we go, this one. So this card is using the whole embossing folder, but what I've done is, using the trimmer, I've cut the middle image out of the middle of the embossing folder. So this isn't completely layered. Underneath, I don't know if you can just sort of see there, this piece here is just a frame. And this is the centre of the frame. And then to cover up the edges where I've cut it out, I've just added black card layers. But again, it's the same. It's just coloured. I've coloured the sea and the clouds, and then coloured the boat and the sail. And then to bring it all together, my sentiment is overlapping all of the layers so that it pulls it all together. Remember, if I know I've said this lots of times before, but if you feel that your card is a bit too disjointed and it doesn't feel like it's pulling together as a unified kind of image, then the best way to pull it all together is to have a sentiment or an element that overlaps several of the layers or several of the other elements, and that's what makes it kind of cohesive and pulls everything together. So there you go. Really nice, this suite, I think, for obviously anybody who's into sailing, but also, you know, for men's cards, for children's cards. You could make this into kind of Peter Pan type theme perhaps, or, you know, just a children's sailing boat kind of theme. Just something a bit different, really. Anybody who's a bit adventurous, likes outdoor kind of activities, that kind of thing. These are really great images for that. And I think you're going to love the little die cuts, which is going to be in our last card. So, okay, so how is everybody doing? Are you with me? Can I move on? Give me some thumbs up if you're ready to move on. I don't know who's given me all the emojis, but somebody's given me a whole variety of emojis. We've got frowns, we've got hearts, we've got tears, we've got everything. The whole lot. Brilliant. Okay. Right, let's pop these out of the way for a minute then. Okay, so before I move on to the last card, I just want to show you the papers that you've got a little sample of in your kit. So they are these beautiful foiled card. They are called Again, it's an online exclusive. Just thought we'd have a whole online exclusive evening. They're called Flower Garden Foils. And you get, how many do you get in here? Flower Garden Foils, you get 6 sheets in a pack. So you get one of each of these different designs. So you have got 3, one each of the colours that are kind of like this check type affair. That really universal. I mean, you could use them for absolutely anything, that kind of pattern. And the colours that you've got are, does it tell me on here? They are Cloud Cover, which is the pale blue, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. That's the colours. So you get one of each of those images in the pack, and then you also get one each of the colours in the floral pattern as well. So you can use the floral patterns for all kinds of different things. Quite, you know, not only flowers. I mean, we're going to use one of the florals tonight for the sail on the sailing boat. So you can do quite a lot, I think, with these. So, and they're sheets of 12 by 12, so you get an awful lot in a pack. Our standard 12 by 12 foiled card comes in a pack of 2 sheets. This is 6 12 by 12 sheets in the pack, so really quite a lot. Okay, so the card we're going to make is this one here. And it's using yet another die, but this time the die is in your magazine, in your catalogue, and it's this round die. Let me just get the dies to show you. It is, the dies are called Spotlight on Nature. Now, you might think that that's really random, but the reason is because the dies they came out last year, and they came from a bundle that had flowers with them. That's why they're called Spotlight on Nature. But also because some of the edges of these dies, so these are our circular dies. Can you see some of the edges have got like little petal shapes cut out of them, die cut out of them? So that's the dies that we're using. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dies in the die set, and we're using this largest, like serrated kind of edge circle. But the brilliant thing about these is that as you can see, as they're in the box, in the kit, you can layer them up. So if you want different patterns, different colours, what have you, you can layer them up, one on top of the other. So that's quite cool. So they're called Spotlight on Nature, these dies, these circular dies. And essentially they're kind of, I think they are a bit of a replacement for the, what were they called, those, can't even remember what they were called now. Something circle dies. They had like an irregular kind, deckled circle dies, that's right. They're kind of a replacement for that because they layer. Okay, so this card, I'm going to explain it first, and then you'll be able to kind of get started on it. So you start off with a white card base. Now this one opens this way, but actually the card that you've been given is to create another tent fold card, because after I made it I thought, do you know what, actually I think it would look better if you could stand it up as a tent fold card. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it as a tent fold. And then you will need your piece of blue cloud cover. What did I do with it? I've just cut those, Evelyn. What did I do with the second piece? Must be here, must be that one. I'll use that one. Okay. It's the piece of your foiled card that has got the kind of hatched pattern on it, and it's the cloud cover one's the pale blue. You might need to cut it to size. It might be the right size, but that's going to go flat down on the card. Then you have got a piece which is your circle die cut already for you, and you've got a little spare bit of white card that the circle came out of. So this piece you can get rid of this. You can use it for a sentiment or whatever. Sally's saying only one yacht and no birds. Have another look, because I double checked every envelope before they went. So it might be that you need tear the envelope apart, quite frankly, because that's what I had to do to get my birds out. They were stuck in a crease in the envelope. And then you've got the bases of some sailing boats, the masts and the hulls of the sailing boats. You have got some sails to go over the top, and you've got the base of the sail. So you're just going to add the actual sail itself on top. It literally lies directly on top of the sail that's attached to the mast. You've also got a couple of clouds. And I've just layered them, one behind the sailing boat, one in front. And then if you've saved any birds, which you might have just a couple, you might not have, I don't think anyone's got all three. I've only got two left because I used one on my previous card, so I've got one left. Then you're going to add your birds as well. So the only bits that are layered are the red sailing boat and one of the clouds, and then the whole circle is on 3D pads as well. Everything else is flat down to the card. Oh, Sally, I don't know then. It must have got lost in the post. I am so sorry. Because every kit definitely had everything in it when it left the house, I promise you. So I apologise for that. I don't know. They must have slipped out of the envelope somehow in the post. If you've got any other bird images, or you'll have to put your one sailing boat in the centre, I think, and perhaps draw in your birds maybe. The waves, I don't know if you can see that. I've just kind of done some stamped, dotted, swirly lines that create the waves. And I wanted to show you how I have done that, because you won't believe what I used to create that. The waves are from the Be My Valentine suite set. How crazy is that? So as you can see at the top here, there's a little dotted line. This stamp here, which has created the wave image, and I did it both ways up, so that it kind of looks, it gives an impression of a rolling wave. That's where my waves came from. It came from the Be My Valentine. But you could, if you've got waves, obviously you can stamp them. If you've got, if you have got maybe, if you haven't, you can draw them in if you want to. Or if you've got a similar kind of, just a wavy stamp set, then a wavy image in your stamp set, then you can use that to create a wave. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to put all the bits of my circle to one side, and I'm going to start off by just sticking the base card on the first layer flat. So that's the foiled layer flat down. Because it's foiled card, it will curl a little bit, so you might have to encourage it down a little bit. And then I'm going to just put that to one side, and I'm going to start to work on my circle. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take all those die cut pieces off. I'm going to add the stamping first. So I'm going to get some balmy blue, and I'm just going to ink that up and stamp some rolling waves along the bottom here. I'm just crossing them over. And turn that one the other way up. Like to get the most out of my stamps, so if there is any way that you can use them in just a different way, then nothing wrong with that at all. So one of my boats is going to go there, so I'm not too fussy about the that kind of bit behind. There's the waves if you want them, Evelyn. And then I'm going to start to kind of build up my image. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually stick my circle on now on 3D pads, and then layer on top of that. And then it doesn't matter too much if I've got little bits like the cloud and stuff hanging off the edges. So I'm just going to add a whole load of dimensionals so that my circle doesn't sag in the middle. I'm just making sure that my waves are the right way up and that my circle is pretty much in the centre of my card. Pretty much. There we go. And then I'm just going to build up my picture. So I'm going to start with my my sailboat that is on 3D, on my 3D pads. I want that to be just sort of hanging just off the edge there a little bit. So let's put a bit of dimension behind that one. So I'll have a pad behind the sail, and we'll have to go back again and have another little bit of this strip behind the hull of the boat there. Take those bits off. Now I'm not covering the whole sail in 3D pad behind because I want to be able to stick the cloud behind, so just off to the side. There we go. And let's have the second sailboat in as well, and then we'll add the sails on top next. So this second sailboat is meant to look like it's in the distance, high on the sea. So I'm just going to add a bit of glue behind that one and stick that one flat down. Oh, I managed to get ink all over my nails, so that's a good start. Okay, it's just going to come off, it's fine. So yeah, let's put that one in the sea there. And then I can stick my sails on top. So this one, you've got, if you look at your the sails, you've got one sail that is a complete triangle, and then you've got like a billowing sail on the other side. So it's the sail that is a complete triangle that is the one that goes directly on top. Okay, and you should have a little bit of mast poking out the top as well. So just want to put a bit of glue on the back of that triangle. This the most kind of I want to say square, but that's not the right terminology, you know what I mean. Angular, thank you, Evelyn. The most angular triangle is what you put the glue on, and it goes straight on top. And the same on the little sailing boat, on the little sail, but it's the opposite way round. So your most angular triangle is on the right on the little sailing boat, and the billowing sail is on the left. So just make sure you're gluing the correct side before you stick it down, because it has to go directly over the top of the base piece. There we go. And then I'm just going to build up the rest of the image. So I'm going to put the cloud going slightly behind the sailing boat. So again, I'm just going to stick glue on the bit that is going to be stuck to the card, because this cloud is going to hang over the edge slightly. There we go. So it looks like the boat's passing in front of the cloud. And then we've got one 3D cloud. Again, just coming off the edge there. And just make sure you don't stick it to the back. And then, oh no, I found another bird. Oh, I found two more birds. Do you want any more birds, Evelyn? I found two birds. Do you want a big bird or a little bird? Okay.
Little bird.
Okay, and so when you're sticking the birds on, you just need the smallest little dab of glue. I'm going to have one bird going in front of the cloud, and then just kind of randomly around. And if you struggle to kind of actually get the birds on, then either a pair of tweezers, which I'm going to fish about and find here now, or our little this little tool as well. This is quite clever. Let me show you how this one works. It's got a little bit of putty on the end, and you can just pick your bird up with the putty and then stick it down, and it will stay where you put it. Also brilliant for picking up any kind of bling or sequins or whatever. In fact, It's working quite well. I'm going to get rid of the tweezers. I'm going to go with this. And you can get refills for the putty end as well. So if you use it a lot and the putty starts to dry out or come off the end or whatever. I mean, I've had mine for years and it's still really nice and sticky. So I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But you can get replacement putty tips if you want. It's called the Take a Pick tool, this one. It's got, on the other end, it's got a pokey tool. And you can take that off and it's got a little palette knife on the other end. Again, that's useful for scraping underneath bling that you've got stuck on a, on the card or whatever. And then I just need a sentiment again for, which I am going to put my sentiment on the cloud, just like this one. Oh, what have we got this time? Let's have Miss You. Might put that one on there, that's nice. That'll be one I can send to Alexander at some point then. There we go. And that's my last 2 cards done. So let's find all the others and bring those in, and then I will just show you a couple of, actually let me show you the other designs first that I've done. So I've done this one that is literally just the card front embossed. So, where's the embossing folder? Had my piece of plain card and I just put it in the embossing folder that way round. So that the top of the fold on the card creased over the back of the embossing folder and then ran it through like that. So that saves your card and gives you a different image. And again, I could colour this now, or I could add some extra kind of layers and things to it, whatever I want to do. But or I could just leave it like this, just plain and white, quite nice. This one is tone on tone. So this is the cloud cover, and it's not called cloud cover, is it? What's it called, this card? What should I say it was called? I can't even remember now.
I don't know.
Something cloud, wasn't it? It's on here. Or is it cloud? No, it is cloud cover. I'm going mad, honestly. Yeah, so the tone on tone using the cloud cover, I've just creased the corner of the card and I've distressed the edges. So that's just using a pair of scissors to get that distressed look. Chopped the clouds off a little bit and added some colour for texture of the sea. That one I always think looks a bit stormy seas, hence why I put the always here for you on there, because I think that looks a bit stormy seas to me. And then this one, finally, is using the lovely foils again, but I've also added, do you remember the waves dies? I've just chopped them up so that and added dimensionals underneath each layer of waves so that the boat sits inside the waves. And obviously you could have waves going the whole length of the card if you wanted to, but I've just chopped up little bits. So I literally just die cut out one strip of waves and then just kind of chopped it up to fit the card. So there's another couple of ideas for you there as well as to what you can do with this. Really lovely set, actually. I really like this set. Yeah, I'm pleased I got this one. Really, really like it. So what have we made today? Let's have a look. We've got that one, and we've got that one, and we've got that one. So that's our 4 projects for tonight. Let's just move them over so we can get them all under the spotlight there. Oops. Try and do everything with too many things in my hands, that's the trouble. There we go. So there's the 4 projects for tonight. Really enjoyed making those, actually. I really do like that sweet. Next time, Evan, can you pass me the turtle one, the time to celebrate? Thank you. Next time, we're going to be using the turtles. Can you pass me a catalogue as well? I will show you where they are in the catalogue. And so we're going to be, this is the new annual catalogue. We're going to be using, let me find them. There they are. Because I can't remember. Turtley Cute, it's called. These make fun cards, okay? So we have got beautiful patterned papers, lovely bright colours, a fantastic embossing folder, which is like a turtle shell, some brilliant little sparkly gems that are like turtle shells as well. Really lovely. We've got some ribbon. Thinking I might make a box to go with these as well. So if you're into box making, then this one might be one for you as well. Obviously, it's great for children's cards, but actually this is about fun birthday cards, really. I mean, we always kind of look at little images, don't we, in the Stampin' Up cards and say, oh, that's got to be for kids cards, that's got to be for kids cards. But actually, if you look at the cards that you would buy for your family and friends, often you buy something that's got a cute little image on it because it's fun. It's just fun. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using the Turtley Cute. This is one of the cards we're going to be making. This little chap with his birthday cake. Something a bit different, and it comes out into a little concertina card, so I thought that was quite cute. So this is one of the ones that we're going to be making, just something different. You will get a half a sheet of each of the papers, lots of cardstock and all other bits and pieces, some of those gorgeous gems and things, embossed card, all that stuff in your kit. So that will be next month's cards. And let me just turn the camera around again a minute. Yeah, so that will be what we'll be making next month. We'll be using Turtley Cute. I really hope that you can join me either in person or online. Would be lovely. There'll be an email coming out tomorrow with all the details of how to sign up as usual, so that you can get your kit in the post. And yeah, if you'd like to join me for my little birthday soiree on Super Saturday and have some afternoon tea and card making with me, that would be lovely too. So do have a look out for those emails as well. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and have a restful evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.